Hi everybody and welcome to Connecting Japan's travel series. This is the first in the series. We're talking about tips and hints that we've accumulated over the years that we've traveled. So I started traveling overseas in 2015 and kind of haven't stopped since. James joined me a few years later. So, of course, we've been to Thailand about 7 times now, and you can look through our area of where we have all the different sections on videos to see those. There's quite a few of them, and we have been to Japan once. Sadly, we don't have any footage of that because if you've been to Japan in the summer, what's the noisiest thing that's available? The cicadas, and they destroyed pretty much all our footage. And I've learned a few things about that to turn the sound off in certain situations when filming. So that was a rookie mistake on our part, but suffice to say, we're here to share some of our wisdom today about some of the things that we've learned along our journey, and of course some of the new technology, well, relatively new technology. For those people who've never used them before, you might have heard of them. So we're going to give you a little bit of the research that we've picked up along the way. So let's get into the video. So the first thing is, of course, before you've even packed and everything, you want to know what cost that you're going to be incurring, specific in a country like Japan, where they've had to push up a lot of their prices, not because of the current economic situation, simply because everybody wants to go to Japan, and why wouldn't you? So obviously, like everyone else, we're counting our pennies. So one of the things we looked at, that apart from the main costs like accommodation and flights, using our phones. So like once I used my phone in Thailand, I didn't do a few things, and I incurred some shocking costs. So we're going to give you some of our wisdom about that and what not to do. So that's definitely something you want to avoid when you go on your holiday. So first of all, we're going to talk about physical SIMs. So of course we all have our phone SIMs and our phone from our different providers, but when you want to go overseas, you might not be able to use it, and you might not want to incur all the nasty costs that I just mentioned. So obviously when I went on my first trip, I got my travel insurance, as you do, and this travel insurance company gave me a global SIM in the mail. I was very excited. I read all the instructions because that's the way I am. I didn't just stick it in my phone, and I followed everything to the letter. So I was very excited to get to Thailand and use it. Did it work? No, it didn't work. I couldn't do anything. No one could contact me. It was really embarrassing. I tried a local SIM as well, with someone that spoke English, because obviously my Thai is virtually zero at that time, and that didn't work either. So I just put my hands up. Oh, this is not going to work. I put my regular phone SIM back in. So that was my experience with physical SIMs. Now they've come a long way since then, and I know that since that time I've never been offered another global SIM ever again. These days, like in fast forward to now, some phones, including the one I'm just purchased not that long ago, has 2 SIM cards. So that's an alternative for people who do have success with physical SIMs. You can do that. Now, I'm not sure how many phones brands ago that this came into effect. All I know is that my current phone has that capability. Whether they fit or not is another matter entirely. So say you don't want to use that and you want to use your own phone. Well, obviously you need to go to your telecommunications provider. We have the 3 main ones here in Australia. We have Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone. And Telstra and Optus actually charge $10 a day to use their services. And Vodafone charges $5, and it's been like that for quite some time. I love the service. I love how it works for us. So basically what you remember to do is turn off your mobile data and your roaming until you arrive at your destination. Even if you've got a layover, stopover, whatever you want to call it, don't turn it on, leave it off, because that's how I incurred a charge, and I got a phone call from my husband saying, what the heck happened? So it was an honest mistake, but it's one that you need to remember. Just remember to keep those details off until you arrive. And then you get a nice little email from the provider saying, welcome to whatever country you're going to. But that might not be available to you either, and you might want to do a lot more. Like, beware only amateur YouTubers. There are plenty of eSIMs out there from different providers, and of course, there are plenty of options. For those with slightly older phones, because I've got probably one of the more current Samsung phones out there, the newest one I think, my options are fairly limited. But if your phone's a little bit older, then you've got plenty of options. So here's 3 points you need to remember when you purchase an eSIM or you're just doing the research. First of all, think about the period of time that you're going away, and when you're leaving and when you're coming back to your country. That will actually dictate a lot of what the costs are involved. So obviously you want it to be able to be usable as soon as you land in that country, and obviously just as you're leaving, you don't want to be shortchanged in any way or charged for anything overly extra. A second thing you need to remember, and of course, is how many gigs is it? So are you using it just as a casual traveler, or you're more of a business person, or you're like what we're going to be using it for, a combination of working holiday and also doing a lot of videos. So we have to think about how many gigs you are. I'm not a tech person to that degree. You might need to talk to someone who's a lot more technologically minded than me to find out how much you need, so you don't run out. Okay, and of course, that being said, you need to check your compatibility. So if you are not sure where that is, go to the bottom of your phone on the settings where it says about, check the model, and then go onto the website that you think you might use to see if it's compatible. And unfortunately for me, I only have 2 eSIM companies in the country of my choice, Japan, that I can use. So it's not too difficult for me, but there are so many out there. Even one of my favorite YouTubers in Japan, Chris Broad, has his own eSIM company. I'm not promoting that or anything, just letting you know. Some of our followers are also follow a lot of his stuff. Go check that out for yourself to see if that's compatible with what you need. So we've gone through all the eSIMs and everything. And so besides that, of course, we have to bear in mind cash and money cards. So a lot of people are seeing on their socials and media and stuff at the moment, different travel cards that are out there. So there's a few that are just become available. Commonwealth Bank, which is one that we use here in Australia, has now got a version of a travel card where you can load up the foreign exchanges. Gone are the days that we could walk into a bank now and ask for the exchange of our Australian dollars into a foreign currency. Those days have long since gone, and there's probably very few places that are like that. So COVID has changed the landscape for a lot of us. Some travel exchanges are back. So there are a few like TravelX and of course Travel Money. They're the main 2 big ones. There are also a lot of independent travel currency exchange booths out there as well. We actually use an independent one, but we did a lot of research, and this particular agent actually was able to give us a good deal on a variety of different currencies that we've used. We've used Singapore dollar, we've used the Thai baht, Japanese yen, of course, and the Malaysian ringgit. And we're going to add to that list the Hong Kong dollar as well, because we have we have a bit of time in Hong Kong airport this time around. So he's one of these exchange agents that are quite versatile and carry a fair few different types of currencies. Now, of course, your banks won't carry as many as this though. So if your bank actually has one of these currency cards, just remember in particularly in Japan, that like a lot of ATMs are open 24/7 in convenience stores. Everywhere else is closed after 8 p.m. And not everywhere in Japan will allow credit cards of various kinds. Creditcard is the actual Japanese word for that. It's pretty easy to understand. So it is a cash dependent society. So just remember to make sure that you obviously have the amount of cash that you're allowed to take out of Australia. Bear in mind, if you've watched enough Border Security, they both here in Australia and overseas, they get a little bit funny if you're carrying way too much of a currency into their country. So having a travel card of various kinds, there's a couple out there. There's Wise, and of course the bank ones that we've talked about. Are they any good? I can't tell you because I don't use them. I've been using Travel Money since we first started. The only thing is with going to the booths though, no offense, but sometimes the currency that the exchange doesn't work too well in our favor. So if that's the case, there is the option of doing it online. You can go to their website, make sure you remember your passwords and everything, because it's a very secure site. You can send the money directly and can get it converted to the currency of your choice and have it on your money card ready for an emergency in case you need it. Now, obviously, Japan is a very safe country, so chances of anything happening or going wrong is remote, but it's always good to carry emergency cash anyway. I mean, we've done that for many years with the Thai baht, and we've actually used a little bit in Japan on our first trip. So apart from that, the other difficulty, of course, in Japan is getting the adapters. So in Australia, we have still got the 3 prongs on our PowerPoints here. But apparently, and this is only starting to happen recently, so word to the wise, many of our appliances will now go to the 2-prong system, similar to many other countries. So when you go and buy your adapters, if you have some equipment that you're bringing with you that still uses the 3-prong service, you might have to really look around to find adapters that are going to fit in with your appliances for Japan. And of course, Japan being a popular country amongst Australians and everywhere else in the world at the moment, it's always good to buy these sort of things in advance. Speaking of things that are in advance, if you're coming in a popular time of the year, say like Hanami, which is flower viewing season, which it is right now, there are still cherry blossoms in Japan. We may see them, we may not. And of course, we're going in Golden Week, which we will cover in another video. You need to book in advance. How far in advance can you book things? The general rule of thumb is 1 month. So this is particularly true for Shinkansen or bullet trains. If you're planning to take them, you need to be able to book them in a month. Now, there are some sites that actually can book a little bit further ahead of time, but you will incur a handling fee. And how do I know this? I use one particular site that I will not name. And sure enough, when I went to pay, yes, I had a handling fee because I booked it so far in advance. The only good thing about that was I have a QR code and I don't have to queue up with everybody else. That was just one leg of the trip. The one leg going back, of course, I chose to use a different site. And of course, because it's going into Golden Week, they have a cutoff of when they will deliver your tickets. So they could deliver them to my home and I'd have to pay for it here, but you can actually have them sent to your hotel, to your airport, those sort of things. Unfortunately, because Golden Week being as it is, a very busy time, so this time of the year, it's from the 29th of April to the 3rd, so it changes all the time. 3rd, 4th, yep, about that. They won't be running any of those services. So when I went to book my tickets, they said I couldn't pick them up from the airport after the 25th. Now, we don't arrive in Japan until the 1st of May, so they're going to be sitting there for quite some time. So we had to go through a different option. So it was a little bit of a tricky one for us because we're staying in a guest house. It's a secure guest house, so we had to email the guest house and let them know that we were going to have our bullet train tickets being delivered directly to them. Now, we didn't incur a cost on that because it's within Japan's borders, so that's okay. But that can be a little bit tricky. Now, some other sites, of course, where there are attractions like Universal and so on, and like my daughter is doing, she waited a little bit later but was still able to get a ticket. So don't fret, but I wouldn't leave it too long. They're pretty quick on getting back to you, so they always email you in English, so you don't have to worry about it being translated. How's it all going and confirmations. So that's all sorted, so we can breathe a sigh of relief. Also, remember always to take a bit more currency with you. As we mentioned, the prices of everything are going up in Japan because of the increased amount of tourists coming into the country. So just make sure you have a little bit more on you and be aware that certain areas in certain cities, like some parts of Tokyo, particularly Roppongi and a few other places, and some other areas of Osaka, are not safe for tourists, so you don't want to get ripped off. I'm not going to go into all the details there. You can check that all out online for yourself. I think that's about all, guys. Sorry this video is a little longer than we anticipated. We had a lot to cover. Thanks for watching, and the next video we're talking about is Golden Week, so we're going to be covering that next time. From all of us here in Connecting Japan, John Martinet, and we'll see you in the next one.